All the Easter eggs I found in Good Omens Season 2. When Easter eggs are done right, they can be so much fun. There were quite a few in the latest season of Good Omens, so I thought I'd compile all the ones I noticed. Like a scavenger hunt for your brain. Obviously it's possible that not all of these were intentional, but that's part of what makes the hunt fun. Not all references are conscious, and sometimes they're even incidental. Dig in, folks. Adam and the Them, Anathema, Newt and Co may not be appearing in Good Omens Season 2, but that does not mean they're not still present in some form. Here are just a few of the references to beloved Season 1 characters that you might be able to spot in the background this season. There are over 200 Easter eggs scattered throughout Good Omens Season 2, buried in everything from oil paintings to posters to bookshelves. On August 4th, Prime Video will be releasing an X-ray feature for the season, where viewers can catch them all, but here are a few of our favorites. They show us that the characters who don't appear in Season 2 have not been forgotten, that Terry Pratchett is still very much a voice in this show, that David Tennant always carries a little bit of the Doctor with him. Look, jokes where a naked actor has various props placed strategically in front of their nether region to avoid a full frontal rating is a hallmark of cinema silliness. See, Austin Powers, ETAL. But having John Hamm walk through a street in Soho with only a cardboard box preserving his modesty is automatically going to put folks in mind of the infamous Lonely Island SNL skit Dig in a Box, featuring Justin Timberlake. This is perhaps even a little funnier if you were a fan of the Good Omens book before the series. In the book it suggested that angels don't have genitalia unless they make an effort, but Gabriel clearly does once the box is dropped, judging by public reaction. Poor Aziraphale. And no, we'll be fielding no jokes about how it's John Hamm, isn't he dreamy, Aziraphale should be so lucky, that's his former boss, y'all. No one deserves that. There's a point where Aziraphale is reminiscing about the events in the Book of Job, and when he comes back to himself, Gabriel has to tell him that Crowley departed while he was zoned out. This is almost identical to a scene in the BBC's Sherlock when Irene Adler has to inform Sherlock that John Watson left their flat while he was deep in thought. He does that a lot, you see. I imagine Aziraphale does, too, albeit in a kinder way. Doctor Who. No one will be surprised to hear that there are quite a few more references to Doctor Who, as well as the casting of the fifth Doctor, Davison, and one of the show's best-known writers/guest stars, Gatiss. Not only is David Tennant most famous as the 10th/14th Doctor, Neil Gaiman has also written episodes of the show and Michael Sheen guest-starred in Gaiman's first episode, The Doctor's Wife, as the voice of House, so Doctor Who references are really part of Good Omens' DNA. On his way to Edinburgh in Episode 3, Aziraphale plays Glenn Miller's Moonlight Serenade in the Bentley. This piece featured in Doctor Who's World War II set two-parter, The Empty Child/The Doctor Dances, a story which significantly set up the Doctor as a character with possible romantic interests and implied that he was not, as many fans had thought for some years at the time, asexual, as well as revelation of the Daleks. In the Magic Shop in Episode 4's minisode, David Tennant as Crowley plays with a fez. This was a frequent tic of his successor as the Doctor, Matt Smith's 11th Doctor, who liked to proclaim that fezzes are cool. In Episode 5, Aziraphale bribes Mr. Arnold, owner of the music shop on Whitver Street, with a proof copy of a 1965 Doctor Who annual. The Doctor Who annuals were published by the BBC between 1965 and 1985, but were dated to the year following their publication, i.e. the first annual was published in September 1965 but dated 1966. Aziraphale presumably has a proof copy of an attempted 1964 annual that would have been dated 1965. When Mr. Arnold later plays the harpsichord during the ball, he is playing some sheet music titled The Doctor Who, a musical. No official Doctor Who musical exists, though there are rumors that a musical episode might be coming in 2024, but there are a few fan-made musicals about the show. The title is also a reference to a long-standing debate between fans over whether the title character is the Doctor, preferred by most, or Doctor Who, as they have occasionally been credited. Crowley's reaction to taking laudanum in episode 3's minisode The Resurrectionists is very similar to the Doctor's reaction to getting poisoned in the Doctor Who episode The Unicorn and the Wasp. The Metatron is played by Derek Jacobi, who previously appeared as an incarnation of the Master in Doctor Who. Beelzebub describes the container fly in episode 6 as bigger on the inside, which is, of course, the way just about everybody who sets foot inside it describes the TARDIS, except Victorian Clara, who said it was smaller on the outside. Tommy Cooper. While it's tempting to assume that Crowley donning a fez in the magic shop around the corner from Aziraphale's bookshop is another Hovian reference after all, in the words of the 11th Doctor, "Fezzes are cool." This is more likely a reference to the British comedian Tommy Cooper, who was known for wearing a fez while he entertained audiences with an act that was half stand-up, half sleight of hand. Maybe Cooper got his signature fez from this very storefront. It's been around long enough. Terry Pratchett. There are, of course, several references to the late, great Terry Pratchett, co-author of the original novel, and to his most famous creation, the Discworld. Terry's famous hat, which he could so often be seen wearing, and his scarf are still hanging from the coat rack in Aziraphale's bookshop. When Gabriel/Jim shows the angels a bendy book in episode 2, the book he shows them is the very first Discworld novel, The Color of Magic. In episode 3's minisode The Resurrectionists, Dr. Dalrymple's laudanum proclaims on the label that it is guaranteed by CMOT. Dibbler Chemists. Cut Me Own Throat. Dibbler is a beloved Discworld character who turns up anywhere there is money to be made, but can most often be found selling inedible pies and sausages in a bun on the streets of the Disc's premier city, Ankh-Morpork. Among the graffiti on the wall of "Give Me Coffee" or "Give Me Death" is a snake image with the names Terry and Neil written on it. The Dirty Donkey also features a portrait of Terry dressed as the Witchfinder General.